I wanted to make a comment about what is going on today in the real estate industry and on my end, because I get to have my fingers on the pulse of whether there's files that are closing, how is it that they're getting to closing, what types of files are getting to closing. So I think that may give you and the realtors better insight as to how the files are getting closed. I want to let you know that closings are happening, and I wanted also to stress the importance of having a team that you can count on and that is reliable to get you to the closing table. It's very difficult, as you guys know, to get a contract for sale and purchase. Once you get that contract for sale and purchase, if you don't get it to the closing table, you know, you don't benefit anything from getting to that, you know, from getting that contract signed. And you know how difficult it is to get that contract signed. So I wanted to convey to your team how important it is to have a group of professionals that can respond to each and every one of you when you guys need that response, and that are going to be on top of your file to make sure that once you have that contract that's so difficult to get, that we're able to close a transaction. And I've seen the success of the agents that have the team already in place, the team that has that mortgage broker that you can call on, and is going to be responsive to you immediately, not somebody that's going to take 3 to 5 days to get back to you on a transaction. So I wanted to convey to you how important it is for each person to have their team already set up. And I know that you, Dailang, and Armando have a group of people that are very reliable when they work together. And because they have worked together on previous files, so this is a relationship that's being built through different transactions and through dealings with one another, that those relationships are successful. I'm not saying that you're not going to run into a specific problem with a specific buyer, but what I'm saying is that if you have these group of people that you can rely upon and that you can call upon, that the success of getting that contract from the day that you sign the contract to the moment that you close the contract, your success rate is going to be higher if you have that group of professionals and individuals working together already. So I just wanted to convey that to your team and let you know that there are closings happening, and the closings that are happening are people that have that team in place to get these closings closed. So I just want to let everybody know that I'm here, you know, to answer your questions. And if you have any specific situations or need my help, then I'm always here to help you.
Awesome. Thank you, Marta. And one thing I wanted to point out to you is that we use it, and it's, you have that system that makes it so seamless. You know, it's so easy to use when you're running a file. That software that you have, with that app, where you put everything in there, and it's a good way of keeping communication throughout the transaction, and keeping us up to date with dates, documents that we might be missing, or information from the buyer, the seller, even the title company or the lender. We're inputting all that information, and that's a good way that you have for keeping us up to date, and also that communication with you and your team over there. So thank you for that. That's actually really useful.
Perfect. Okay. And you guys, and I'll put my email, and I'll put the Nation's Trust title, the website on here, where you can log into that program that Dailang was speaking about, which is called Qualia, which is also a mobile app, which you can have on your phone, and you can keep track of your transaction and where we are in the transaction. So you're always advised as to where we are, and you're always connected with all the parties involved in the transaction. So if you need to send a message to someone, you could do it within the system. So I'll go ahead and put it in the chat.
By the way, I love the system.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yep.
you. I see that you use it often, and I think that it's a good way of us, you know, receiving information from different parties and making sure that there's no surprises at the time of closing. We don't have a surprise. Once we input the file, we send out emails to all the parties, and everybody confirms and verifies their information. That way, at the time of closing, we don't find out that the seller is married and this is his homestead, or is married and lives in Mexico. So this way we have a good, we have we have fresh data from parties that are confirming all this information. We don't find out at the end of the day that there's an association, or there's two associations or three associations at the time of closing. We ask day one from the from the seller's realtor. We say, okay, please tell us how many homeowners associations are there, so there's no surprises. So I really like the system. It's quite of an expensive system, but you know what? I think it's well worth the money, so that we can keep everybody informed as to where we're at.
Perfect. So for those of you that may be joining us for the first time, this is Marta Pozo. She's our in-house counsel and title company. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to her. She's always keeping us up to date and with information, the latest that we can find on the real estate market, what's going on. And she has her thumb on the pulse, so she knows exactly firsthand what is happening with transactions and how they're closing. So Marta, thank you so much for always keeping us up to date.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marta.
Thank you.
I want to welcome everybody as usual to Real Estate Friday, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about 6 ways to make follow-up a priority and the tools to make it easier. And a little bit on the tools, you already know which ones we use, but how can you make it effective? So 6, it's very simple. As you know, follow-up is the key to succeed in real estate. So lead generation is the key to success, to have a successful real estate business, and follow-up is the key for help and follow up with the lead generations that we're getting. So that's very key and crucial when it comes to our business. So I'm gonna give you some advice of stuff that you can do, that you implement. Some of you are starting new in the real estate industry, and this is very good to know. But most of us that have been in the real estate for a long time, this is a good review. So whether you have a long time in the business or not, this is good always to keep it in mind how to follow up. And there's 3 F's to follow up. You have follow up, follow through, and follow back. So, and I explain what that means throughout this little training that we're having. So this number 1, follow up should be a priority. So you know that prospecting is not easy, and nobody said it was, but you have to set up a system for you that you always follow up with your clients. So write a follow-up time on your calendar and treat it like any other appointment. So for me, I have to keep always a planner, something that I can use to follow up with people, and I'm always writing in there. I don't finish my day until I write down what I'm gonna do the following day. And that's an advice I can give to anybody. If you wanna be successful in this business, you have to write down your follow-up, your schedule, what you're gonna do, and have a plan for your day and attack it. Okay, have a plan for the day, have a plan for the week, have a plan for the month, and keep it daily and keep it simple, and always treat your follow-up as a priority. Number 2, see the profit potential in every lead. Every lead, it's a potential for you to make money. Okay, in this case, you make a commission. Now, you might have some leads, and Amanda was talking about this yesterday in the Relevant Realtor, that you might be working with somebody that maybe they don't buy today, maybe they don't buy in a year or 2 years from now, but always see the potential in clients, because they are your source to getting more referrals and getting more leads, and you want to work with them. So if you have a lead, that individual has already expressed to you the interest in your services. So if you don't value it enough to reach out, someone else will. So make sure that you're treating that lead properly, and you see always a profit potential in them. Number 3, communicate the way prospects do. What does that mean? Well, Some people prefer to text while others would rather communicate via email. Others rather be on the phone with you. So ask prospects which method they prefer and act accordingly. And make sure you do it. And that's a good way to follow up. All right. Now, number 4, you have to build a friendship relationship with them. And I think this is very crucial. You have leads, and those leads will become acquainted with you, and you're gonna help them do the biggest investment that they're gonna do in their lives. So for them, they might be a first-time home buyers. You might be working with a seller. You helping them make a big decision in their life right now, whether they should sell or not, or refinance. So you're the go-to person. But imagine if you have a friendship relationship with them. Now they're part of your sphere, and their network could be part of your network too. So that's a good way to expanding, and all started by a simple follow-up. So following up with your clients or your prospects is a good way or a vital way to build that relationship or close relationship with them. So number 5, do not ignore warm leads. Few leads are hot and ready to buy on the first contact. But if a lead isn't interested in buying or selling right now, keep them on the warm list and follow up seasonally. When they're ready to buy, they'll be more inclined to use you. So this is also very important. Warm leads. So we do have systems. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the next few minutes, but we do have systems. We have, write it down somewhere, create a spreadsheet and label them and say, well, who's a hot lead, who's a warm lead, and follow up with them and set a time, put it on your calendar, make notes and say when to follow up with these people and make sure you do. Now, we can make all that a lot easier. And this leads me to number 6, which is consider having an automated system. Now, we do have a system that is very powerful, and that one is called Shine. Most of you are aware of it, and a lot of you are using it. And if you're not, I encourage you to join us on our trainings on Tuesdays and Thursday with Steve, which he talks a lot about how to generate lead, but also how to use the system and having those leads go into that system and make it automated. So make sure you engage with us in those trainings on Tuesdays and Thursdays with Steve. But again, having a platform, having a system that can automate these follow-ups for you is very, very crucial. So how does that help you? Having this type of systems in place? Well, it would help you instantly to engage with prospect. So imagine that you're having 20, 30 leads coming in, and obviously you're gonna lose some of them if you don't have the time and you're doing everything by hand, making the phone calls, following up with emails. I mean, there's only 24 hours in the day, and actually you might be working 16, 18 of those hours. So you wanna be as productive as possible. So be able to do that and be at a bunch of places at the same time. You do need to have a system in place that will engage with prospects for you. You got to show persistence. Also, a system will help you with that. And you have to nurture the right leads, and the system will help you with that. Now, Steve, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Can you expand a little bit how Shine can help us with the follow-up aspect of our business?
Yes. Chime is a CRM. For those of you that don't know, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. And these systems are built for exactly what Daylon is talking about. It's really meant to develop relationships, keep them moving forward at scale over time. So, it's hard enough to manage a relationship, 1 relationship, 2 relationship, 10 relationships. How do you manage 100 relationships, 500 relationships, 1,000 relationships in your database? Well, if you can, that's a great way to stay in touch with people, to develop and to develop a pipeline of steady leads and referrals in business, right? So we can all agree on that concept. And that's really what these systems are built on. Chime is the system that we offer for our agents. It's very powerful. It's got a ton of these automated follow-ups built into it using channels like email, text, and you can make phone calls even within the system, and it'll schedule like a calendar type of thing to schedule a task for you to make a phone call. So it can't make the phone call for you, but it'll tell you, hey, make a phone call if you log in and you check your dashboard. for these people. And then, you know, the idea is to really be strategic with this, and instead of just reacting and doing this daily, is to really sit down and look at this from 10,000 feet and look at it like, this is what I need to do for the month. This is what I need to do for the week. This is even what I need to do for the year. And really manage all of these contacts kind of together at scale and keep them always moving forward. So all of these CRMs are built on this concept of a pipeline that has stages. And there's 4 or 5 or 6 stages, you know, starts from cold, you know, if you can think of it like cold, lukewarm, warm, even warmer, and then hot type of stage moving forward. You want to always be looking to move that relationship to the next stage. And Chime has something called Smart Plans, which is marketing automation. You can make a smart plan for all kinds of different scenarios: buyers, sellers, investors, cash buyers, friends and family, real estate agents that I met, contractors, what I want to say to them. Maybe I touch base with them twice a month or something like that, see how they're doing. You can set that. You can set that all up. So it's very, very powerful. And the real estate agents that master this are the ones that really succeed, and you can make a lot of money and develop a really, really powerful leads and referral pipeline by mastering this. So I strongly encourage you to listen to what Daylon is saying about the follow-up. We all know that's really a key to success in developing these relationships and developing a steady pipeline of business. So if you have any questions about this, like Daylon said, we do classes. I do classes every Tuesday and Thursday, and we talk about this exact thing. And then, of course, Daylon does his on Mondays and Fridays, and we really work hard to teach all of our agents this and raise the level of transactions per month across the board, and get you guys closing more deals, right?
Yep. Yep. And also part of the follow-up is having the right team in place. We had today Marta Pozo joining us, but having the a power team with you, it will help you with the follow-up process throughout transaction, throughout, you know, new leads, new prospects, people that you're getting pre-approved to buy a house with a seller. So you have a team in place that is not just you, but you do have everybody else working to make that possibility of keeping that client happy. And if that person is happy, again, that'll take me back to having to number 4, which is building a close relationship with your prospect. Is that once you have a prospect that you're working with, that prospect will become a client, that client will become a friend, and that friend will be generating leads for you because it's a happy customer. So you want to make sure that you follow up on everybody, regardless on, you know, if they're buying now or not. And I think that that this situation that we're in right now, that we're on quarantine, it gave us a lot of free time to be able to put into place a lot of systems, strategies, and ways to be able to be more successful in our follow-up. So that's my message for you today. I wanted to make sure that you are doing your follow-ups. When you do a follow-up, make sure you follow through. If you promise your client you're gonna do something, follow through. Make sure you are good on your promises. If you tell them that you're gonna search for houses, make sure you make the time for that. If you wanna follow up on, you're doing a transaction, so you need to follow up on the title company, you need to follow up on the inspection, the appraisal, whatever it is, whatever you promise, make sure you follow through on that. And that's the second F. And the last one will be follow back. Once you close a lead, once you close a transaction, that client hopefully becomes your friend, and in a way that when you follow back, meaning you ask for a referral, you ask for more business, and now that you have a relationship, you build that trust, and that trust will go for a very, very long time. So make sure you do that. So the 3 F's: follow up, follow through, and follow back. Important. And keep in mind the 6 ways or the 6 strategies on how to do this. And hopefully you guys are doing this and you're putting into practice this in your business, because this is, again, and I'm repeating myself over and over on how important it is, the follow-up in sales. So I want to thank you all for joining us today. Again, next week we're having Mindset Monday, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays with Steve. And again, Friday we'll have Real Estate Friday. So next Friday, I'm having, we invited a developer. She's gonna be talking about the property is called Nativo, which is in downtown. And that property, it's really interesting the way they're setting it up and how ahead of the game you could be once you analyze the way they structure this development. And it has to do with short-term rentals. And this is one of the only buildings in, if not the only one in Miami, that allows you short-term rental at a point of daily rental. So I know there's a few of them, but they allow you for like 7 days or so. This one is daily, and we're gonna have the developer talking over, or the sales team talking over how this works and how if we can advise people that maybe they were in the Airbnb industry or the short-term industry, how can they be ahead of the game if they look into properties like this? And the price points are ridiculous, so you'll see when you'll join us next Friday. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna send you the invite and the art and everything, so you guys can join us next Friday. So thank you so much for staying with us today. And Marta, again, thank you so much for the information. I see you put it in the chat. Everyone, please see it, copy it, and if you have any questions, feel free to call her or call any of us if you need more information or the contact info for Marta.
Thank you, guys. Everybody stay safe.
And Daylon and Martha, I just wanted to follow up on one more point that Martha made about building a team. I agree with that 100%. And the last training that we did, that I did on Tuesday, we talked about how to host your own event like this one, like the one you're on right now. And if you guys are not calling up your team, your attorney, your credit repair person, your title person, and putting this team together, and you guys can all be hosting an event just like this on Zoom. If you're not doing that, you're kind of missing the boat. You have a captive audience right now. Everyone is at home. Everyone's on the internet and on their computer all day. And if you can figure out a way to create an event for your audience of something that they would care about, like what's going on with the market right now, here's what's going on, some of the stuff that Martha was talking about, enlighten people about the state of the market, or maybe some development deals, investor deals like the short-term rentals that Daylon is speaking of. But this is a great opportunity to practice that. Put that together. You could host just a simple one with your friends and family to start. Just get 4, 5, 6, 7 people on and just kind of run through it. And we have the recording for that event, that training, and I teach you how to promote them, how to get 20, 30 people. We're seeing more people than ever with these Zoom events than we had before the lockdown and the quarantine, just because everybody is online and everyone is really hungry for information.
Steve, and just to put on top of that is, if any of you have, I know that some of you work in teams, and if you want to have either a training session on the contracts, on as-is riders, on 1099s, on FERPTA, which is a hot topic, on whatever topic you guys want me to speak on, I'm willing to come on into your team and give you guys a little bit of education on stuff that may not be very clear to realtors. And I think, it's very important to have, the more knowledge you have, the better conduit you guys are for business to your clients. So I'm here if anybody wants to set up a Zoom meeting with your team, I'll be happy. I think I have a couple already set up with some teams in Dalen's office, and I'll be happy to do that. And just let me know ahead of time, and I'll be happy to set that up.
Perfect. Thank you, Marta.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for Real Estate Friday. Stay tuned for the rest of for next week for all the trainings that we have coming up. Make sure you go to brokernation.events and see everything that we have coming up for you guys. So stay tuned for that and register and invite others to join us on these meetings. They're very good and to the point, and also it will help you to do more deals during this COVID-19 time. So thank you again for joining us today. Marta, thank you. Steve, thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. Have a happy Friday and an amazing weekend.
Thanks, guys. Everybody wave
Thank
to the
you.
camera. We'll get a screen
Bye,
capture
guys.
of it.
Thank you.
Thanks. There's Rob. Bye, Rob. You're on there twice.